What's going on? Welcome back to. Oh shit! We already got the studio's already falling apart. Episode 2, and we're losing everything. It looks like there's going to be no official opening. Again, working on how I want to open this bad boy up. I was more nervous than I was last episode 2 weeks ago. Way more nervous than doing that episode. That day I was kind of motivated because I had, like I referenced in my Instagram story, that I had watched a podcast with Trevor Wallace, and he was talking about when you get that creative inspiration to make that video, just go and make it. So I did that, and that one felt kind of easy because I knew I was just going to ramble, and then I didn't necessarily want to ramble so much in moving forward. Wanted a little bit more structure, but I haven't found it quite yet. How I'm going to go about this. As you can tell, it's still watching the making sure it's recording. I've just had so many botched podcasts in the past that it finishes recording and then I have no good sound to work with. Jeep's running as well this time because last time I was burning up, and that's also where the water's going to come from. Because I recorded one last week because I wasn't sure, or I was sure that I was going to do one per week was the plan. And then so I filmed one last week, like almost an hour long, but it was a little bit too much of it really was too much of a therapy session, which these do kind of feel like. Because I don't remember if I mentioned last week or in the last episode that when I do therapy, I do it in the car because I like the seclusion of it. And so this is a place where I do therapy, so it does kind of feel a little bit similar. But when I filmed the episode last week, it really, really did feel like therapy, and I was a little more emotional than I wanted to be. So maybe we'll still probably be some clips I'll take out of it, but the whole thing overall, I feel it just felt like a mood killer, and I wasn't feeling like that. Like that is exactly what I was going for. Like I say, there'll probably be parts to it that I'll like. But the reason why I feel like I was more nervous now is because there's maybe expectations involved, as were before. It was just completely random and out of the blue. So it didn't really feel like there was any pressure to really do anything, and I kind of had, yeah. But I've been kind of thinking it feels kind of funny because I'm not like singing. I'm not like doing any music or like doing anything that's like a real like talent. It doesn't feel like, so it feels kind of like there's like a slight bit of like silliness that's coming through that's interesting because it's like, oh yeah, like I'm not like now I'm going to play a song or do something like sick as fuck. I'm just gonna talk, and but yeah, I hope that's still interesting. And so I was gonna kind of go through maybe I was recap like the movies I really liked because I'm a movie boy. And I was going to recap the movies I really liked from last year. And then I ended up seeing Hamnet. And now I don't know what's my favorite movie of last year. I'm fairly confident. No, I mean I know it's still Sinners. But in this very moment I can't really tell you why. And because Hamnet fucked me up so good. And it's just such a good movie, and I can't even put it in possibly describe the emotions in that movie. And just it was a perfect example. I was so happy with it because like it takes you through so much grief, and then in the end it shows you like the importance of theater and like movies, and like it shows you the importance of art in the process of grief in the most beautiful way. And I cried my eyes out in the theater. I usually won't like fully cry, like where tears are actually streaming down my face, but in the last 5 minutes of that movie, fully tears streaming down my face. It only happened a couple times. Another time was Coda, the movie Coda. That one really got to me. Yeah. Besides Hamnet and Sinners, other ones I really fucking loved from the year 2025 were Eddington. I think I'm a little surprised it wasn't nominated. Not really, I guess, but it gets surprising to me because I feel like it probably should have been nominated over F1, just because F1 does feel like the very odd nomination from the Oscars. Not that, I mean, I loved it, but it's a little surprising. And I was thinking about it today. I think it's like very funny because it is a concept of when the Oscar movies come out, you'll go through the best picture nominees, the ones you haven't seen, which are usually like obscure or kind of like more obscure movies to the normal movie watcher. And so it gives you like an excuse to go and like kind of find those. And I think it's kind of hilarious that now like on a watch list for the Oscar noms is F1. For some reason that just seems really funny to me, that it's like, oh, we gotta get through these Oscar nominations, and it's like, oh, we need to watch F1. And yeah, again, I loved it because I love Brad Pitt, and I think they knew exactly what they're doing. You get Brad Pitt to pop his shirt off, and you're probably gonna get a Best Picture nominee. That's how much weight his body pulls in the industry. So, what was I saying? I was saying Eddington. I was saying Sinners, Eddington. 28 years later, obviously, from 2025, and the Bone Temple as well is already my favorite movie of 2026. That I think, anyways. I'll be very surprised if something else takes it for me. But also Hamnet came in in OT of 2025, the overtime period, and maybe stole everything. I don't know. So there is time, and we still got Christopher Nolan movie coming out in July, and we got fucking Steven Spielberg's fucking back, and who knows what that means. The trailer doesn't look that good, and from my opinion, but it does very much interest me. I think Greta Gerwig's got a new movie coming out this year. Another movie that I think could definitely could have stolen everyone's lunch money for me. for 2025 was The Other Choice. Don't know how to say the director's name. I apologize to who I don't know. But The Other Choice, if you haven't heard about it or don't know about it, just the trailer alone is it's so creative, and some of the shots in it are just mind-blowing. Just, they're so simple, but I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And yeah. What else? Magazine Dreams for me was a generational watch about a sad boy bodybuilder. I mean, not that I'm a bodybuilder by any means, but I obsess over exercising, and can be sad, and just the way he describes it in it is just, it's so cool. And his performance, Jonathan Majors, I know he's I'm like dying. I know it's very controversial around Jonathan Majors, so I don't even know what to make of the whole thing. But his performance in Magazine Dreams, unbelievable. And Weapons, obviously, was another one. Maybe the creepiest shot scene of the year, when the woman comes out of her house with the scissors, if you've seen it. That one, absolute banger. The way the story all comes together is just so fucking good. I know I'm already probably missing some right off the rip. I put up a bangers of 2025 list on my story. It's gone now, but it was up there. And so yeah, those are some of the top. I think that's the top 5 of the year from me. And this is where I'm just so annoyed with myself already, because I'm realizing that the notes that I was going to read are on my phone. So that's a bummer. And I don't cut the show. So that sucks. We don't cut around here, because that's just not how we roll. No, I did want to describe this slightly more. I did put this one on my story as well, because I wrote it last week. The locomotive / bullet train theory. And it is just kind of there as like, it's kind of a self-explanatory theory, I guess, that when a locomotive train, I'm just calling it a locomotive, and I don't know if even that's the proper, I mean, I know it's a proper term for it, but like in my mind, that's like a train that like can also pick up passengers, but it also is carrying like cargo as well. And in that theory, it's like specifically a like 2 different versions of men type of theory, which is like the locomotive man is the traditional, like, he collects all the things throughout his life, people, a wife, kids, a house, all these things. And when he's stable, and that's actually who he is, all those things come, and they come easily, and all the people around him feel comfortable, and they're comfortable in the life. And similarly to then the bullet train, which is the other version of men, a man that doesn't seek those traditional things. You know, he kind of, because the bullet train, it just has people, doesn't have all the cargo and the rest of the thing that comes with it, and he's free to move as fast as he wants, and everyone again is comfortable because he's who he is and doing what he wants to do, and everyone that's in his life sees that and they're happy and they're cool with it as well. The problem and the theory that I've made is that the problem is when the locomotive man is masquerading as a bullet train. Or, no, when the bullet train is masquerading as a locomotive. I mixed up, I think, the two. And that's where the problem lies, because when the bullet train man is masquerading as a locomotive, he just becomes a runaway train, and everything gets completely fucked up, and he's not stopping at the right places, or where he's not stopping at the places that people are expecting him to stop at, and he's not picking up the items that people are expecting him to pick up. You know, a wife, kids, a home, a stable job. And he's blowing through these things, but yet he's still kind of half in that and trying to make that work. And yeah. And then it just gets out of control because he becomes a runaway train, and everyone's fucking nervous because they see he doesn't even know. And that makes everybody really uncomfortable. He should just be a bullet train. That's my theory of looking at men in different forms. It's a very simplistic look at it, and I'm still trying. Don't have much feedback on it, but I think if you get it, you get it, and if you don't get it, you don't get it, and that's all right. So what I like doing now, if you haven't been able to tell, and if you don't know, I like writing. I write basically my whole existence at this point. Whenever I have free time, I was just writing in the grocery store. I was blocking a tire of people behind me as I was grabbing sour cream. I was finishing a thought, and yeah, I write at stoplights and everything. Whenever I get the time, I write. And it's been a lot of theories at this point, which has been very fun, writing like little essays about just whatever kind of theory pops into my head that I think is really interesting. And the locomotive/bullet train theory was one I just had recently, which was a fun one to write, and see if I get any feedback on that. But now I will. I'm going to read a little bit more. Another different screenplay. I think there's still so much in this one that I want to work on. So, but it'll probably completely change. But I'll read like a little bit of it because I do think it's interesting, and I've just been working on this one for so long, and it has so many different versions of it. I wish I could find. I don't know what happened to my original work that I was working on while I was still living in Fargo. Because I had so much. I had not so much. I had 50 pages or something. But for me at that time, I felt like that was a lot. And but it was getting so messy, and I was trying to combine so many different things, and I still am in it. So like, but I think I'm gonna pull it off here one of these days. I think it's gonna finally all come together, and it's gonna fucking rule. But it involves like, porn stars and Burt Reynolds and murder, and I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing for me. I'm trying to get like as close to Boogie Nights as I can without completely ripping off Boogie Nights, and I'm already close because I'm already have a porn star, and I already have Burt Reynolds, and it takes place in the 70s. Yeah, so I mean, I'm already almost there. But so now that I've written so much on it, now the thing that I'm trying to get back to, because I just found out in the newest screenplay that I wrote that the most important thing still is to make it as personal to me as I possibly can, to the point of embarrassment, that I'm embarrassed to share it. Because like a lot of these old ones, I'm not too embarrassed to actually share, because it doesn't even really feel like it's me. And that's what also kind of sucks about it, is because it just kind of feels like it could be somebody else's words. And so I'm glad I've gotten away from that, and I can't prove that because I'm not going to read the one that's finished, because I'm actually going to make that one. So that one's going to be actually my first film, which I'm very excited about. But so I'm gonna get into this one a little bit and give it just a little taste of the story. Again, this isn't. Who cares? What am I talking about? You don't even know. I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read a little bit. Exterior. Oh well, the title. It's called Shooting Star. Exterior suburban home. We hear intense sexual moans as we slowly zoom in on a classic American home. Interior bedroom. A young man lays on his bed in a cap and gown. Miles Manor, 18. Surrounding him are classic movie posters and women's beer posters. The man throws a tennis ball up towards the ceiling. On its way down, he misses it. The ball rolls over to a television set where a man and woman have sex. Miles sits up and he stares at the TV. A moment later, his facial expression changes to excited smirk. A light bulb moment. Miles quickly ditches his cap and gown for 80s teen clothes. He stuffs the porn VHS tape in his backpack and grabs a skateboard. Exterior street. Miles skates down the suburban street. A classic 80s song plays. Think Marty McFly skating in Back to the Future. Exterior trailer park. Miles holds onto the bumper of an RV. He lets go and comes to a halt in the driveway where a shirtless man with the skin of a hot dog sits in a lawn chair tanning. Burt Batson, 48. A waxed black Trans Am sits on the dying lawn. Next to it is a television set with a shotgun blast in it. Part of the roof of the trailer has a tarp on it. Burt, Zup. Miles, Zup. Miles keeps walking. Interior bedroom. Boone Batson lays on the bench press. Straight dumbbells lay at his feet, and in the corner of the room is a pile of clothes. He has two pictures on his wall. One is of Buster Keaton, and the other is of Bud Edkins. Miles swings the door open. Miles, I'm going to be a star. Boone racks 225 and sits up. Boone, what? Miles exits. Interior living room. Miles slides the VHS into the VCR. Boone slides on a shirt as he enters. The VHS flickers to life on the screen, and we see a dick entering vagina. Boone, isn't it a little early for porn? Miles, this is it. This is going to be how I'm going to become a star. Boone, I thought you wanted to be a real actor. Miles, and I do. And this could be our in. Burt enters from outside. Burt, that chick's got some nice tits. All three men stare at the TV. Beat. Burt, Anyone up for some golf? Otherwise, I'm going to take a nap. Boone. We have a party to get ready for. Bert. Copy that. Nap it is. Bert exits. Miles. Let's party. Exterior street music cue. Hopefully, one thing leads to another by Fix plays. I would love to play it. Cue the music on your end. Boone pulls up in a Trans Am into a parking spot on the street. Hundreds of cars surround a huge house that sits on the edge of the lake. Miles and Boone exit the car. They look fucking cool. Interior house. Hundreds of young adults party. That seems so silly, but that. Miles and Boone enter with swagger. Interior kitchen. Music cue end. Music cue, hopefully, again, Back to Life by Soul. Miles grabs 2 beers and hands one to Boone. They take a in sync swig as they scan the party. We see a beautiful woman standing across the kitchen from them. Her hair is huge and she wears a colorful 80s clothes. A wine cooler touches her lips. Miles. Ellie Finkelstein. The hottest girl in school. Next, we see a 6'4" jock in a Letterman's jacket put his arm around her. Michael Mender, similar age. That's all I'm gonna read. I think that's all I'm gonna read. 3 pages, because I do like it. I own all these characters, by the way. So if you try to steal any of the characters, I'll fucking kill you. These characters have lived in my head for many years at this point. Maybe I shouldn't even be reading this. I don't know. Maybe I'll cut it. Maybe I'll bleep out the names. Maybe I'll change them. I should have changed them. What a mistake. How do I feel that I read this? Conflicted, I would say. I think I'll leave it because no one's watching this anyway. So, and I think I'm all right because I own this, right? I wrote it. You're gonna steal it, right? Also, I'm the only one that's attached to this. These names mean fucking nothing to you. Yeah. Let's see if I have any fun notes since I'm reading things. Okay. I think this is kind of a fun little story. This one's called Legend of the West. A legendary gunslinger gets gifted a leather holster from a long-lost daughter. I'm going to add in something because... Yeah, no, I'm just going to read it as is. Stop trying. I have a very, very problem of when I start to read something, then I want to make it better, but it's already written, so just fucking leave it. A Legend of the West. A legendary gunslinger gets gifted a leather holster from a long-lost daughter. Men come to challenge the gunslinger while he's eating steak dinner at his favorite saloon. Usually the gunslinger would make short work of these chumps, but as the men draw on him, his pistol snags on his new holster, and the men shoot him 12 times. The men leave the gunslinger choking on his own blood as he still is trying to get the gun out. Finally, after a few more seconds of struggling, his hand falls limp, blood runs down the leather-stitched holster and drips onto the wood-paneled floor. A legend in the Old West, like a Jesse James type, like Billy the Kid, like fucking Wild Bill Hickok. This legend's name was Roland, and he roamed California in 1877. He slayed many men and laid with many women. Fucking Roland. That's fun. What do we got? Do I have anything else before? I guess before we're done. Oh, this is getting into so much. So many of my other notes. Oh, these are a lot. This is a lot of like shooting star old notes. That's fun. Oh, this is no, I can't read any more of these. Can't read any more of these because they're all ready to go, I think, at this point. No, wait. God, I just saw something. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. It's another Old West story. I've actually said before that when I've been asked about writing a Western, I always say I'm just not old enough yet. I don't think I've had enough heartbreak, and my heart isn't calloused enough to write a proper Western, so it's going to be a while. But hopefully one day I'll be calloused enough and feel enough kind of like heartbreak in a good way that'll make for the best possible Western. And then by then Walton Goggins should be at a perfect age to be like a Sam Elliott type, and then I would hope to get Walton Goggins to play another cowboy, one final cowboy for me, and then he'll be it'll fucking rule. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into this. Old West story. A black man and a white man rob a train successfully and retreat to a small town. They spend time at the casino when they get too drunk and piss off the bartender. He calls his friends. His friends are the KKK. They ride into town and they take the black man from his slumber. They take him out to a field where they burn him alive. The following morning, his white friend. That's all I have. Short and brutal and no revenge, and it just ends with his white friend. So, I guess similar to this story, this podcast will just end with your white friend. And I guess that's episode 2.